Oh, hello Internet and welcome back. Now that we have created our first report on Jasper Studio, we'll have a look on how to add parameters to the report, how to deploy reports to Jasper Server, and an overview of what Jasper Server has to offer. I'm Lucas from Avetti Commerce. Let's get started. With Jasper Studio, we can pass parameters to our query in order to prompt the user for a value to limit the data returned from the query. For this example, we're gonna create a new parameter to limit the amount of records displayed on the report. On the Design tab, right-click the parameters directory and select Create Parameter. Under the Property tab, we can see the parameter we just created. Let's rename it to Limit2. And change the Java class to integer since we expect the user to provide only integer numbers. Note that is4prompting is checked, so the user gets prompt for a value. And for the full value expression, we can set an initial value for a parameter, so let's make it 3. Now, in order to use this parameter we just created, we have to make a small change to our query. We can open the query editor by clicking the button right above the report design. So let's add an extra line to our query. Limit, $, capital P, open and close curly braces. In the curly braces, we'll add the name of the parameter. So limit2. Click OK and see what happens when you click Preview. Now, before displaying the report, we see a text box where we can enter a value, and it's default to 3, as we have specified before. Let's change it to 5 and see what we get. So we change to 5, we run, and there we go. Now our report returns 5 records from the products table. This information is not very helpful though, since it only returns the first 5 records in the table. We can improve it by ordering the results from highest to lowest cost. We can do it by adding one more simple SQL statement to our query. So let's go back to Design and open up the query editor. Before our parameter line, we'll add order by cost and make it descending so we get the highest values first. So let's test it out. We click on Preview. I'll keep it 3 this time and hit play. And there we go. Now we have a report that allows us to specify how many records you want to display and returns helpful information. Next, we'll see how we can publish a report to Jasper Server. I'm not going to publish the one we just created since we're using a sample data from Jasper Studio and it's not available on the server. Instead, I'll publish a new inventory report that pulls data from Avetti's demo store. In order to do that, we need to create a connection to our Jasper server. From the Repository Explorer, we right-click Servers and select Create Jasper Report Server Connection. So we can just leave the name as Jasper Server, it's okay. We enter the URL to the server, so t95dev.avetti.ca/Jasper Server. We enter the username and the password. Now let's test the connection. It's successful, so click Finish and we are ready to publish. Now to publish the report, from the Design tab, click the button on the top right, just beside Settings. The Report Publishing wizard will pop up. Select the server and directory to which the report will be sent to, and create a new report unit. So let's go ahead, open up the Jasper Server reports, and we are going to select the reports folder, which is where we want to send it to. Create a new report unit. I'm okay with the inventory label, so we'll just go ahead and click Next. Then we'll be prompted to select the resources that we want to publish. I already have the Avetti logo on my server, so I don't need to send that again. I don't need to override it, so I will just change it to ignore and click next. Finally, select the data source. Note that this time, instead of using a local data source, we will select the one created within Jasper Server. From the server, the process to connect to a data source, it's the same as we've seen on Jasper Studio, so we're not going to go into details on this one. Check Select Data Source from Repository and click the Suspension Points button to select the data source. Under the Data Sources folder, we will select Avetti and click Finish, and we're done. Simple as that. Our report's been published to the server. Now let's go ahead and have a quick look at Jasper Server. We're not going to get in details here, but some of the key features that Jasper offers include the ability to create different roles for the users, so giving each role a different level of access to the resources. For example, an admin can have full access while limiting the other users to only access certain reports. We can create schedules to generate reports and even send those reports in a specified format via email. We can also export reports in many different formats such as PDF and Excel. So let's check the reports folder. The inventory report that we just published is available, as well as some other reports that were published before. Let's go ahead and check the inventory report. And there we go, it looks beautiful in high resolution. But I want to show you the top sellers report. It's a great example of the use of parameters and how friendly Jasper's interface is for the end user. Let's go ahead and open the top sellers report. And we get prompt for the amount of records we wish to see and the date range. Let's check the top sellers for the year 2017. I will set the start date to January the 1st. And the end date, let's make it December 31st, 2017. I'll leave the limit to 5 and click OK. And there we go. We have a report generated in high resolution. To wrap up, let's just take a look on how we can export this report that we have just generated. Simply click on the Export button on the top left and select all these different formats to export. I'll select PDF. And we have exported a high-resolution PDF version of our report that we can download and share. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.